Reyes versus Gerson Martínez. Little fun fact, Gerson beat Efrén earlier in the 9-ball in round 7, and he can play. Not very familiar with his one-pocket game, but he's a... Efrén Reyes obviously having an amazing tournament. He's in round 9. He doesn't have a loss. These are short races. He's playing a gunslinger. He's got to protect his cue ball, which he's probably, the best to ever do it. Got the cue ball pretty deep on this rail, so he must be doing well with this break. Watch the 14. That's the only thing I noticed immediately. I have not predicted what was going to happen there, but it feels like when you've got the cue ball deeper or closer to the rail, you're going to make more contact with that second ball, which puts more energy into the corner ball. I would be surprised if Gerson did not take a whack at this 14. Looks like he can even control it with a little speed. He's obviously got a pretty good escape as well. He could come off the 4 going behind the black 8. But boy, this might be one of the best opportunities you have if you can cut this ball. If he doesn't cut it, it's obviously laying more difficult than I think. Yeah, he caught it a little thin. He had room. He actually cut that ball to the center or top side of the pocket. If he focuses a little bit more, catches a little thicker, I think he comes between the 1 and the 12, and he really opens these balls up, and instead he's in a big pickle in game number 1, round 9. Gerson, like I said, does have a loss, so he must win this match. This is the only angle I have to work with. It's better than nothing. We are happy to bring you this match. But sometimes I cannot tell exactly what they're looking at. It's going up. Here's the problem. There's just too much around Efrén's side to go up table unless you think you're a 60 to 70% favorite to make this ball. Efrén can rail first the 1. He can do anything there. Did he get it to the hole? Well, that might slow Efrén down a little bit, but there's still problems. Efrén can pocket the 3 if he doesn't have a good look at his own pocket. And put him up here by the side pocket. It looks to be devastating if he can do something like that. But the danger of leaving Efrén with balls swarming his pocket is pretty scary. Well, looky here. I think he is going rail first, unless the angle is fooling me. Maybe he's straight in. I can't tell, but it does not look like it on my screen. I think he's drawing this ball with rail first. And he is. What a hit that was. What a hit. But the problem with the shot Gerson shot is that you just can't leave this man at the table with balls around his pocket. As I've said, he's going to play the combination here. Get a shot on the 15. And Efrén is off to the races, playing for 6. What does he go to next? Everything's kind of doubled up, the 4, 7, 9, 11, 10, 6. So you've got to be a little conscious here. You don't really want to catch the 5, killing the 15 with inside. I don't know how steep he is on this ball. He might have to come around. I think he can actually kill it. He's close enough to be able to kill this ball, but he might want to come around. Yeah, he was able to kill it and move the 7. Perfectly executed. Now he's got plenty of options. He can come around for the 12, or he can come all the way around. If he's using the bridge, he's definitely not going to come all the way around. got options. He could punch for the 6, but I think he'll come around. A little weak there. Cue ball took on him real quick, using high English on newer cloth. Is he close enough to this 12 to miss the kiss? I wouldn't be surprised if he plays this cross corner. I don't think the kiss is on. Just because he's so close to it, he can manipulate the angle very easily. He can actually, and how you do that is how thick you want to hit the 12. He can hit the 12 thicker with some right-hand spin to straighten the 12 off, shortening it up. Or he can hit it thinner with some left-hand spin. I believe thicker is the play. He is familiar with Gerson, I'm certain of that. So he knows he needs to be careful, and if he's shooting this, he's got to knock it down, and of course he's going to shoot it. He's feeling good. He's in round 9. And that's why he's going to shoot it. Came all the way around with inside English. He did catch it pretty full, so the angle was steeper than I thought. Now he can clip the 11, I believe. And that's what he's done. Efrén Reyes playing for 2 in a quick game 1 in this race to 3. Efrén did win the lag. Makes him a heavy favorite if this match goes hill-hill. And when I say heavy, I think he's probably a 10% favorite if it goes hill-to-hill. Nice out there by Efrén Reyes. What a shot on the 1 to start that run. Rail first with a bit of draw. Having some longer matches, so they might have to make some adjustments to the next event. But it's really nice to have 4 1/4 inch pockets, because when you've got 4 1/2 inch pockets with new cloth, it plays like 5 inch pockets. Let's see how good Gerson hits this. Okay, see how he hit the 8 more full? And look at the ball high, look at the ball low. The 10 is high, the 6 is low. That immediately poses problems for your opponent. Whereas Efrén caught the second ball much fuller, Gerson caught the head ball much fuller. Can Efrén see it all? The bottom of the 2. If so, he could almost cross it and play the 13 to his pocket. I don't believe it's available. The 4's got to have him snookered. He's looking at the 8. You could take a foul in the top corner pocket. That's what he's done. I talk about this shot all the time. Note the speed. Note that he used that top rail before he got to the bottom rail. That's how you control the speed when taking that foul. Utilize the rail to slow the cue ball down. The reason that shot is so powerful is he leaves him dead straight on the combination. If Gerson plays the combination and misses it, he loses his entire position, but possibly even worse, he loses the game. The other strong part about that shot is that now Gerson is forced to come off the back rail. So typically you're going to have something much better than you did last time, and he does have something much better. He can play the 13 into the 6 and swing the cue ball back up table if he'd like. It's an option. I don't know if it lays perfect for that. He could just play the 13 straight into his hole and maybe go up into the 7. That's definitely another option. A little risky. Pretty good shot from Gerson. He cut Efrén off from the 6. He's got to do something here with the 13, I believe. Yeah, and this is the shot I was talking about. I didn't know if the angle laid right. Gerson will probably play this combination just because of where the cue ball ended up. The 10 looks to be a big ball to me. If it's not a big ball, then Gerson will go to the 13. Okay, probably a wise decision here. Hit this thick, just a fraction thicker just to get it past. Still did well with the cue ball. Notice he's utilizing the stack for protection at all times. So to me, even though Gerson lost the first game, it looks to me like he can play this game. Or at least he understands the real basics, which when you're a straight shooter and understand the real basics of one pocket, you can be a devastating player. Efrén going to the 5, playing it 2 rails under the 13 and drawing, he was going to that ball. Same principle. Did he sell the 10 out? So he played a combination 2 rails underneath the 13 to clear the 13, but his big object was to get the cue ball up in the corner. Didn't quite get it there. I believe Gerson can see this 12, which is a mistake on Efrén's part. Oh yes, he's got a big stroke. I have not seen him play much. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with him. He's obviously a rotation player, I'm sure. The 8 is playable. Boy, you'd rather play the... I'm surprised he's not shooting here. So that tells me he really does know the game. If he doesn't shoot the 8 there or cut the 5, then that means that means he knows more about the moving game than your average rotation player. Because most rotation players are going to push the aggressive side of the game or the offensive side of the game. He did real well with the cue ball. Efrén does have a shoulder injury. He's had it for years. It's tough for him to raise that front shoulder. Excuse me, it's the stroke shoulder's the shoulder that he has a problem raising. Yeah, he's got a real problem with it. He had a pretty big injury in that shoulder several years back. He's going to go to a foul, even though he doesn't want to. Like to get it creeped up behind there. It's okay. Efrén Reyes owes 1. Gerson has 1 to the good. Going to the 8 ball here, or at least looking at it. It's okay. You've just got to be real careful of that stripe in the center of the table. If you're going to come off of that ball, I think you're better off to leave him on the bottom rail than to come high. You could leave a bank going high. Well, he doesn't waste any time, does he? Yeah, that's nicely hit. Can Efrén kick to the backside of the 8 and go up into the 15-5 here? I don't know if he can get deep enough into the 8, but if you can hit the 8 going in, the cue ball's going to take the path of the 15 and 5. No, he didn't have... maybe he didn't even have the angle that he needed to play that shot. But that shot's typically available or in his arsenal. Is he going to go forward here? Yes, he is. He's going to try and butter him up. He wants that to settle. It could be an error if you let Efrén see enough of this 5. That was a big ball working for Gerson. Efrén can lay this up in front of his pocket. Needs a little carry out of it. Yeah, he didn't get it there. He's not thrilled. Huge difference in laying that up in front of your pocket and laying it up where it's at. Gives Gerson freedom to operate. He can chop this 8, getting it up, playing the cue ball over here, but the escape for Efrén will be off of the 5. So do you want to do that? Can you do anything up table? Maybe 2-rail the 10, even though you're not playing it to make it. You're playing it to your side of the table. Yeah, this is a little touchy. He's done real well with it. Efrén's going to kick at this 8. I believe he's going to kick across the 8 here. With control, he wants to hit the 8 pretty thick. He's playing all cue ball here. Oh, he's hit it very thin. So the cue ball came off much sharper than he expected. We are late in the rounds. These tables are playing shorter than they did early. So that's an adjustment he'll have to make in the future. Surprised he mishit that as good as he hit the 1 in game number 1. $15 ball available, or is it the 10? Looks like he's going to the 10. Ooh, some body movement there. What was he playing position on? So he might be a little bit more of a conservative player than I had him pegged for. You can chop this 5 to your side. Just lay it up. Not play to make it. Shoot it to the bottom rail. Lay it up with some inside English and use that stack. Like this, a little thinner. Catch it just a fraction thinner, I think, would have been a little better, but it's not terrible. Efrén can kick to this 5. That's the only issue. You don't want this guy kicking at balls very often, I can tell you. Catches the top side of it. He's in good shape, just like so. That's the difference between catching that 5 thin when you're Gerson or catching it thick. You put it in a position for Efrén to play a 2-way. And a 2-way he played. Gerson gonna have to come off the bottom of this 15. I would keep him low, just like so. It's about all you can do there. So he definitely starting to tell me he knows the game better than I thought, which is good to see, because I don't want him to trap me. I'm surprised Efrén's not coming off the 7 here, putting him behind the 1. Yeah, I'm a little surprised at that, just a little. He had a real nice angle to just clip the 7 and put him behind the 1 and 6, 13. Gerson might have a sweep shot here. He can cross this 5 and sweep to the pack. Well, he's got the kiss. Might have got away with it, kind of. Is there such a thing as might have got away with it, kind of? I think that's kind of an oxymoron, but we'll go with it for now. Efrén looking at the 2. What about clipping the 13 and burying Gerson behind the 2? Is that available? Or is that too dangerous? Can he get to the 5? He's not left-handed. Just don't know where he's going with the cue ball here. Okay, fairly passive, but pretty effective. I've always said Efrén does some simple looking things that are more effective than most people realize. And that right there is an example. Unless Gerson can get him behind the 4 and 14. That's what he tried to do, but it was not easy. Only thing I can say with Gerson is I think the minute he gets down, he's a little quick. He takes his time and looks at the shot. He seems to play a lot of right shots. Efrén going to suck him up behind the 6 and 1 here. Wow. Okay, he didn't. Thought he'd bank that, draw the cue ball into the 6 and 1, but he's got balls high and low. Things starting to look worse for Martínez. He's actually looking at the 2 now. Whenever you're looking up table and your opponent has balls on his side and in front of his pocket, it's not a good sign. Okay, I think he's looking to play this cue ball 3 rails in behind the 5. That tells me the 7 isn't sweet, meaning coming off the 7. I think the 6 might have him a fraction hampered. Yeah. Boy, this is a big ask right here. You're asking a lot to play this 2. You're going to have to shorten it up. So you want to hit it thinner with some inside English and pinch the cue ball, sending it around 3 rails behind the 5. Unless he's going to the stripe with the same shot. I didn't think the angle laid there, but it laid there for the cue ball. But I didn't think the bank played past the 2, so maybe he was just trying to get a little escape out of that with the cue ball. Efrén taking his time here. He doesn't want to just shoot at the 7 because of the 13. You have to cut the 7. Doesn't want to leave Gerson the 13 because he could come off of it. He could possibly bank it. That's why he's looking at other options. If he's forced to shoot it, that's what he'll do. He did look at banking the 13. I just don't think there's a future in banking that. Maybe you hit the 7 full, just playing it above the 5. And that's what he's done, but he didn't get there. I think you need to put just a fraction more speed on it. You want that 7 against the rail. So Gerson going to the 5 here when he could come off of the 13, bring the 13 to his side and put him below the 5. That's a mistake. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. The shot's okay, but he could have crossed the 15 to his side and laid him below the 5. He didn't look at the 13. It is round 9 in their defense. This is a very grueling tournament. You need stamina to make it into this tournament this deep. Efrén, 69 years old. He doesn't have stamina. He has heart and ability. And he's also a genius, as we all know. Yeah, so if Gerson would have played the shot that I was talking about, he would have cut Efrén off from this. He wouldn't be in this position. He's going to come off the 6. Wants to get him tucked under these balls. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Efrén might take a swing at this 13 now. Just play the cue ball in behind the 4 and 14. This is all, the cue ball's taking the natural path, so this is all focus on the object ball here. Really wants to knock this down. And he has. Did he get glued to the 4? That would be chilly. That would be very chilly if he got glued to the 4. His body language tells me he did. The only issue with this is he can probably bank the 14, but it's not free. I don't believe it's free. Remember, Gerson with a 3-0 ball lead here. Looks like he's put a great strike on this ball. Oh, and he has. Boy, he's hitting the ball real nice. As good as I've seen him hit it in a couple years. Staying down, going through the cue ball real pure. He's got options here. He can come around. He can shoot the 5. Yeah, almost like shooting the 7 and coming around. The 9 would have played. The 7 would have played. The 5 would have played. So he's got a little steep here. I think he can hold for the 9. Oh, yeah, he can. So Reyes back in this game. 3 balls apiece. He's playing for 5. Does he have the perfect angle, or does he play the 4-15? Can he draw into the 1 here? Tells me the 15 is good. He'd like to have been a little lower on the 1, hitting the 1. Problem here is the 4 is going away, the 3 is going down. Okay, it was straighter than it looked. I am fooled by the angle. Efrén playing for 3. Boy, another fantastic out by Reyes, playing for 2 in game number 2 to take a 2-0 lead. And what seems like it's only been a few minutes. Oh, he caught the 3. He caught the 3 there. I'd like to get a replay of that. I don't know if anybody saw that. Pretty clean. I don't even think that he thought the 3 was a problem. But what a turning point this is in game number 2. Gerson playing for 5, but look at how the balls lay. Wants to get off the rail here, and he did. So he just needs an angle on this 13, whether you come above it or below it. Could come 2 rails out. He'd like to keep the distance traveled on the cue ball at a minimum. He's a little on the low side, I believe, unless the angle has me fooled. If he's straight in, he just draws straight back. There's no issues. But the time he's taking tells me he's got just a bit of an angle. The bad angle. Yeah, and he does. He's going forward 2 rails out. He's hit it great. He's got the angle he wants. He needs to settle. Yeah, he's a little flatter than he'd have liked to have been. You've got options here. You can punch this 2 rails out and try and get between the 12 and 6, or you can just follow this down and try and get behind the blue 2. The number 1 object is to pocket the ball. Yeah, a little body movement. He played 2 rails to below the 2. He needs the cue ball to settle. Yeah, he's got room to work with here. And I can't fault him for either ball here, depending on what he wants to shoot. I like the fact that he's going to look at the ball count. An easy way to do that, though, is when you're at the table, look at how many balls your opponent has and then just do the math while you're at the table. That being said, he could shoot the 2, draw back and take the cut on the stripe, or he can shoot the stripe now and come over behind the 2. Oh, he tried to kill it. That's why I don't mind cinching the 2. Even though it was a little off angle, just cinch the 2, right? He tried to hold his cue ball or kill his cue ball there. It allowed him to jump up and decelerate on the ball. Boy, Efrén looking at the 6. Is he going to go forward here? Doesn't want to hit this short. Yeah, he did hit it short. It's turned out okay. I don't believe Gerson can reach the cross corner on the 6. I think it's a little steep. Do you bank at the 2 here? I don't know. You could also chop that stripe and lay it up in front of your pocket and bring the cue ball down behind the 2. Oh, I think he's hit this great. If it gets by the stripe, it didn't. So got a real tight game here in number 2. Efrén in a little bit of a spot. He's a master at getting out of these kinds of situations. I'm not going to predict what he does here just because of the angle. He could always come off of the 6. And put him below those 2 balls. So he went into the 12 first, trying to carom the 2 to his side. He got a kiss on the 12. Pretty risky shot. He's great at that shot. It's actually a really high level play. A lot of you might have thought he went into the 2 first. I know his game so well. He went into the 12 first. The angle just didn't suffice, missing the kiss, and Gerson's got a cross corner to win game number 2. Oh, man, and the angle was tough. Tougher than it looked. What a hit. And he might steal game number 2 when it looked like it was all Efrén Reyes back when he was shooting the 1 and it clipped the 3 to win the game. And Gerson does steal game number 2. It takes some of the impact off of the second ball, and that is why he did it. Efrén's never been known to break the balls as good as anybody on the planet. He's just so good after the break. As long as he can get a breakdown where it's pretty safe, he's typically the favorite. But this could be problems again for Reyes, where it looked like he was going up 2-0. He could go down 2-1 and quick here. Yeah, nice hit by Gerson. He was trying to make that ball. So just like that, in a race to 3, everything can switch. Efrén looking for some type of an easy escape. He broke the balls. Gerson wins this game somehow. He's breaking on the hill. I will remind you, Reyes has no losses. Gerson has a loss. I don't mind the shot Efrén was looking at, two-railing the 6 and digging in behind the 13. Is he looking to play the cue ball 2 rails up into the lower right corner? He wanted to dig into that cue ball a little bit more, but that shoulder, he's got a very hard time elevating or digging into the cue ball. So he didn't get quite as much out of it as he wanted. I know he's not happy with this, but it's not terrible. This is definitely no hanger if Gerson decides to shoot the 7. You can see he's not. Oh boy, what a hit that was. Notice how he stunned that cue ball forward. Efrén going to probably have to take the long rail kick into the 7 unless he's got a clear path to rip, or play the 3 into the top of the 7 and stun forward. I think he might be better off just kicking one rail and pocketing the 7. He hasn't even looked at that option yet. And I'm not going to question his decisions. So he must have something that goes to the 7, which is probably the 3. I'm a little surprised here. So I don't believe the 14 went. I think he wanted to get it just a fraction closer, but he did well. Unless Gerson, I don't think Gerson can do anything with the 13. So is he looking to rip the 14 with the 4? Or is he looking to go forward with the 11 and put him down? Yeah. It looks to me like Efrén can twist that 15 back in. Maybe not. I don't feel like Gerson would put the cue ball there. He looked at it. Can the 7 come out if you swerve to the bottom side of it softly with a ton of right English? Can he double kiss the 7 out? Problem is that the cue ball is going to stay there, right? Leave a bank for Gerson on the 15 if he does that. Yeah, I think he's fighting with himself over the decision. Oh, very cute. Might have got a little unfortunate there. I think Gerson has a bank on the 3. It leaked. But if the 3 doesn't leak, Efrén would have done a fantastic job from that position. And to make matters worse, the 9 and the stripe look to be on in Gerson's pocket. So if Gerson can get this down, he's playing for 6 right now. Oh, he's hit it low. These balls tend to do that on newer cloth with a high English. That ball's going to lengthen out more than you expect it to. So you've got to play it a little shorter when using a high ball. Pretty big break for Efrén, though, here in game 3. Is he going to the 4 or is he going to the 5? Oh, he's lost the cue ball again in one of those caroms. You don't typically see any emotion from Efrén, but you did there. A little flail of the arm, a little fist on the hip action. What can Gerson come up with? I don't know that he has a pocket here on the 5. I don't believe he does. Yeah, he definitely doesn't. He's going to try and play it off of one of those spot balls. Might look at something better here. Just don't know where he can lay the cue ball down unless the angle says he can go in behind the 4. Well, he got a kiss off the 15, which covered the 3 up. And he's cut Efrén off here. So Efrén might have to shoot the 15 into the bottom of the 5 and sweep those balls out, punch the cue ball up in between the side and the corner on this lower side here. I don't know if there's a kiss, though. The 5 could kiss the cue ball. The 15 could kiss the cue ball. They're both going to sweep out. The 15 will 2 rail out. The 5 will 1 rail out. Got to get the cue ball out of the way, and that's his concern. A little flat on that angle. But what do you have? He can see the top side of the 3. But I don't know if that does him any good. Can he see more than the top side of the 3? I think he's shooting the shot I discussed. Watch the cue ball here. Well, I'm a little bit thrown off. So he played to double Gerson up. That's how bad a spot he was in there. The 6 was always in that position. He played to double Gerson up. What does the 110 look like in Efrén's pocket? Gerson needs to be aware of that. Jeez. Pretty good hit there. Very good effort by Gerson Martínez. Unluckily for him, I think that he's left Efrén a shot to rip the 3 and 5 and stun up. I'm not positive, as I am probably about 50-50 calling the shots here due to the angles. Yeah, I'd say I'm a little better than that, but I'm just calling options. And, well, did he luck it in? Well, he caught a kiss on the 14, which allowed distance. Gerson's life a little more difficult and a much higher heart rate. If he doesn't catch the kiss on the 14, he's going to be pretty straight in on the 3 and 6. So a little love for Mr. Reyes at 69 years old, which in my opinion is deserved. Gerson looking at what happens if he rolls the 5 in. Rail first. Get him to this bottom rail, but he's concerned about the 9. I don't blame him. But I think you might have to let him go there. I don't know what other options unless you want to stay offensive. Take a look at the 6 or the 3. Yeah, I think you've just got to roll the 5 in. It's definitely not free. I'm talking about the bank on the 9. I can't blame him for taking his time here. He knows that this is a key point in the match. I think he's talked himself into the aggressive end of this shot. Yeah, I don't know. He's a straighter shooter than I am, I'm sure. He's not leveling. He's not leveled out, or he's leveled out. He's not jacked up. Might be elevated just a fraction. Obviously, the more you're elevated, your percentages of pocketing the ball reduce. Yeah, his gut is telling him he wants to roll the 4 in. I don't think it's the wrong shot. If Efrén makes the 9, it is what it is. But make your opponent earn it. Don't just give it to him. That's okay. He's shooting from the pocket. Well, look at this. Gerson the whole time worried about the 9, and Efrén's not even going to shoot it. So Gerson makes a very good decision there. And I'll bet he's happy Efrén's not shooting it, which is fine with him. Let's go back to the 1 and 10. What does that look like? I feel like that ball is wired to Efrén's pocket. Gerson doesn't seem to act like it, but can Gerson disturb those balls coming off the 12 and put Efrén behind the 11? That 11 is out there quite a bit. Takes real good control. If you can execute it, it can win you the game. That's how big this shot is, and that's what he's doing. Well, he's done beautifully. What a hit. Couldn't place it better with your hand. That shot needs no explanation. He's cut Efrén off of everything. Efrén might be forced to just touch the cue ball here. Unless he can see the 4, I don't think so. I think he's got glued. But maybe you tap the cue ball first to where maybe you can see the 4, or maybe you just touch the cue ball to prolong the game. Gerson has 2. Make him come back a ball as well. Prolong the game, then take another foul out of it. Yeah. I think I might tap the cue ball first, making Gerson tap it back, and then do that. Yeah, it's come off short off that bottom rail. That bottom rail seems pretty sharp. Did he get a roll here with the 5? Oh my goodness. Wow. Did he snooker him with the 5? He did. Gerson looking to backbank ball off the 5 now, I believe. Unless the angle's fooling me, which is very possible. He doesn't give me a lot of tells as far as where he's looking for position. So can the ball bank clean? He doesn't even know. Now he's looking. Yeah, it's tight. I might be checking that spot job if it's that tight. Okay, he was trying to bank it off the bottom of the 5. A little drama here in game number 3. Can Efrén cross the 9 and go into the 13 with any control or speed? And when I say speed like that, I'm talking about controlled speed. Not hitting it too hard. Must be too steep, but boy, it doesn't look too steep to me. It looks like he can control that bank. And the cue ball. Maybe he doesn't like the position of the balls. I can't fault him there. Everything pretty much favoring Gerson right now. What I mean by that is if Efrén chooses to bank the 9, let's say he makes it and goes into the 13, what's he get next? The 11? Maybe the 4? So that might be why he doesn't shoot it. And I can't fault him for that. He's thinking, I've got to be a favorite with the balls up table. I am in round 9. I don't have any losses, and I'd like to win this tournament. Gerson, I'm looking to see if he can chip off the edge of this 5 and bring it back behind the 10 and 2, but the 5-10 are glued. The 10's going to get some type of movement. I think he can still do it, though, and bring him back behind behind the 5-2-12. It's a little risky, though. Those balls could open up just a bit. These players might have taken a break. Yeah, I think he can clip this 5, though. I don't think the 10's going to cause any major damage, even if it does clear out of the way. The 5 is going to stay. If you chip the bottom side of it, it's going to stay or nudge towards the 12. Just play the cue ball into the balls. He's a little concerned about it because of the movement of the 10. Doesn't want to leave Efrén a shot on the 10. Maybe he just wants to leave him up there, which is okay. I want to hit this real thin. Yeah. I think it's all right. I don't know if he's got a bank on this 5 or not to where he can clear the cue ball or go forward. Well, he must have a bank on the 5. Now notice those balls. You see the object balls? If he just comes on back to the 10, 3, and 2, I think he's going to be okay there. Efrén looks like he's going at the 5 here. Yeah, and he had the perfect angle to float down. So that's going to cost Gerson at least 1. Time to move them up table. These balls still really don't favor you if you're Efrén. Does the 6 clearly bank by the 4? Oh, I'm surprised he left the cue ball out there in no man's land like that. But I can see why he did that. There's nothing wrong with it. Gerson can't shoot the 13. He played the 6 short. So it would clear. Efrén playing for 7, Gerson playing for 6. This is game number 3. We are in round 9. They must be looking for a ball. It might have got hung up in the table or the chalk, one of the two. Can Gerson control the 13, just chipping at it and coming 2 rails behind the 3 and 2 with the cue ball? It's a pretty small target, and it is dangerous because if he doesn't get him behind there, he's going to leave Efrén some type of a bank on the 13 or the 11. So he's really got to control the speed. He's been good at this so far. He's on target. How's his speed? How's his control? Well, we can clearly see why he's in round 9. I'm glad you got to see this, and I'm glad I got to see this. Efrén could be forced here to chip off the 6, bring it back above the 13 to the bottom rail here, below the 11. It takes an accurate hit, though. He might even just take a foul below the 11-1 rail. Well, he's shooting my shot. Yeah, this is good. Good speed. That's going to do it. Kept the 6 in play on his side. Now can Gerson come off the 13 and put him back where Efrén just was? It's going to require a little thicker hit on the 13, but I think it lays pretty good with a touch of right. Or is the cue ball too high? I do like what he's looking at. He's looking at the double up on the 4 and 6. But you've got to be careful if you're banking that ball. He's maybe looking at coming off 13. I think that's probably more devastating. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan. He had position. He was holding his position. Even if he took a foul behind the 2, 3, and 10, he still holds his position with the ball high and low. He kind of moved the ball, which is the 11, away from his pocket, and he's left Efrén a good look at the 13 if he wants to shoot it. And Efrén showing us all a new shot, in my opinion. He could have removed the 13, but he'd rather get one on his side. I think removing the 13 and playing the cue ball up into the 12-10 would have been a better shot for him. But I'm not in round 9 with no losses. He is. Gerson looking to chip the 13 and put the cue ball back there. It's a big ask. The speed has to be perfect and quite a bit of distance for that cue ball to travel. Easy to under or over hit this ball. Boy. My goodness. He almost hit it perfect. That's so difficult to do. I think he's done okay. Just a fraction hard. Efrén might be able to cut this 6. He likes that shot. And come into the pile. Oh, he's come into the bottom of the 12. A little unfortunate for Reyes. And I believe the kiss is on with the 13. He did that versus the kick and stick and completely clear it, so it might have been out a little further than I thought. I would be surprised if Gerson does something with the 15 up here. Maybe bank it a little bit more to the bottom side of the 9 and 14. That way you can get your cue ball 1, 2 rails to the top end of the table. Or is he just rolling at the 4? Yeah, this is good as well. That goes back to the shot that Efrén just shot, 2 railing the 13 softly instead of kick and stick. What does the 3, 7, 10 look like? Nice control there. He could see the 1. So he lives to fight another day. Gerson shoot the 10 and just stick him to the 12 here. So Doesn't want the 3 to tie up. Is he straight on the 10, or can he two-rail it to his side and go forward? He must be pretty straight. He's going to send these balls up table. He's focused on the cue ball, and it was handled perfectly. These balls are going up table. Kind of already are. Yeah, just tied those balls up. A little surprised he didn't bring Gerson back to the bottom rail here, and that's kind of why Efrén's going to be forced to elevate here. I don't think he's going to have any trouble doing it. But when you have a chance to be the first to put him back on the rail, you typically want to take that. Yeah, you typically want to take that chance or take that on. He's going to go to the 7. Yeah, so he has a hard time elevating in his defense, right? That shoulder injury. He has a hard time getting the shoulder up. So it's tough for him to dig into the cue ball. Pretty fascinating that he's in a round 9 with 0 losses and can't elevate. Yeah, pretty fascinating in my opinion. He's not going to elevate here either. I think he's just going to roll this 11 to the top rail. The thing he's going to be concerned about is getting a rail. Maybe go into the 14. So I'm very surprised at this. He left a free bank for Gerson on the 11. I thought Efrén would play the 11 up and go into the 14 with the cue ball. Oh, he hit it hard. So that angle was a lot different than it looked on our screen. I believe he'll go back to the 14. Tough to call this part of the game. The 11 banked. He hit it nice speed. Needs it to sit. I don't believe Gerson can cross this 3 without worrying about the kiss. This match can't be any closer, guys. It's 1-1. 2 balls apiece, and we're in game 3 in this race to 3. Decided to kick behind it. Can't blame him there. The kiss was on. Efrén taking a stab at the 2. Playing more cue ball than anything. Gerson might be able to take a stab at the 9 now. Looks to have a path by my angle. I like the play, though. Couple more rotations out of that cue ball. Can He shortened this 11 and hold right there. Ooh. Did good with the cue ball until the 11 came back and kissed those balls. He's left Gerson a big opportunity here to get at least one, but I believe he might have the angle to go into the 12. So a little quick for Efrén there, in my opinion. And that tough shot there, he had to hold that ball and at the same time miss the object balls coming back. This is what happens after you start tapping and rolling balls around for a while when you're a shot maker. Sometimes your timing will evade you. This 2 looks pretty difficult. He hit it thin enough and avoid the side pocket. Some inside. Oh yeah, no problem. Did he hold it up? Yes, he made it. He did hold it up. Now what does he do? Efrén Reyes with a 3-2 ball lead. Does he bank it this 11 or play something passive? All cue ball there. If you make it, it's a bonus. Is he looking to bank the 11 above the 15, like so, and drop him down? Use those balls as protection. Well, he's got options here. He can bank and stick on the 13, lay it up in front of his pocket. He doesn't want it to drop. He could kick to the back of the 11, I'm pretty certain. So it's up to him here. He wants to make the decision. Is there value in banking this 13? I think there is, due to the position of the 11. Gerson's going to have to defend against it. Oh, he went forward. I don't know. I thought he could stick there. He's got unfortunate that it landed on the rail. Unless he played the speed to get on the rail, and by the motion he just had, that wasn't the plan. So I'm surprised he didn't stick there and just played to shorten the 13 up a little bit. Pretty fortunate lay down on the 13 for Efrén Reyes. Gerson might be forced to come off the 11 here. Doesn't want to knock it up there too far. Yeah, that's okay. That's all he could do. Very focused on the cue ball. These balls shaping up to take us into a long, long game. Watch out for leaving a bank on the 13 here. He's done okay. It's pretty tough to bank at this 13 and get them both out of the way, meaning the cue ball and the 13. Or at least removing the 13 if you don't make it. You don't want it looming down here for a bank. Martínez. He can dig into the cue ball a little bit though and play this with a low left and some speed. One rail towards his pocket. Now he's leveled out. Trying to make his mind up, feeling the shot. Is he looking to cross the 11 or play the 11 one rail towards his pocket and come up behind the 9-14? Yeah, that was the only problem, like I mentioned, is you just couldn't get rid of the 13 if you didn't make the bank. So this is an error. Gerson can chop at this 13. He's hit it thick again. I guess he's played it that way. I felt like he could play to hang that up at minimum. This could pose a problem for Gerson. If Efrén feels a take on the back cut on the 15, could lay down for a bank on the 13 unless it's much steeper than the angle provides me. He's looking to kick to the back of the 13, I believe. No, yeah, this is what I had thought. He hit it thick, but this is the path the cue ball took, so he had a two-way there and could have done a lot of damage if he gets the 15 down. I kind of felt like Gerson made a mistake there. If he would have cut the 13 to pocket it, I think the cue ball takes a better angle and a little safer, plus he might get a ball out of it at minimum. I do like what he's done here if he gets that cue ball down. This is nice. Very good cue ball there. Efrén might be forced to one rail this 3, use the balls as coverage. He's hit it great. Yeah, he's hit it great. Now he might have the escape to kick behind the 13. Oh, he's done excellent with that as well. Gerson can definitely play the game, though. He knows one pocket. He's definitely played a lot of it, which kind of surprises me. I haven't seen much of him. He is from Lima, Peru. Countryman of his and a friend of mine, Manny Chow, from Peru. Speed looks real well here. A couple more rotations would have made a difference. Very difficult to commentate this part of the game. The wedge is forming. And I'm not talking about a salad. I'm talking about these balls. Sometimes the way they shape up, players are just forced to keep knocking them into one corner to keep each other off of the shot. Efrén would like that ball to travel a bit more. Obviously wants to possibly come off the 9 here, but is he concerned about the 13 trickling in off the 10? think he would have already shot it if it wasn't a possibility. Do something with 14. Nice stroke. Very nice stroke. Nice touch as well. I believe most of you would agree with me, watching Efrén in his prime, or even now watching that loose, loopy stroke with such touch. There's nothing better. Gerson going to come off the 12 and try and bring him down to the rail. I'd say he's done a mighty fine job. This makes life difficult for Reyes. He can come off the 14 here. He just wants to cut it into the 11 or the top of the 15. Just watch the side pocket. Well, he hasn't hit it hard enough to scratch. A little surprised at that. I think he wanted to hit it much thinner. Looking at the 2-railer on the 13. The angle just doesn't look natural. I think he's going to have to shorten it up a bit. Yeah, the angle just didn't look like it was there. He had to shorten it up a lot more than I thought, or a lot more than he thought, possibly. Efrén considering one-railing this 9. Went down there and took a look if anything goes. 10, 14, 7, 12. I don't see too much danger, but he'd have to lose the cue ball a little bit. If he's going to one-rail the 9, he's got to hit it with some speed, so I think he's going to pass up on that, send it to his side. Good control. Gerson taking a look at the 15. I think it's a little close to the rail. I don't know that you can shorten this up, and if you do bank at this, it could prove disastrous if you catch the 14. Yeah, I like this option. Looking to just bunt the 11 back over to his side. Remember, guys, both of these guys are playing for another round deep into this one-pocket tournament. So they're doing whatever they have to do. And this is a big part of the game. The end game or up-table game, you better know it. Because if you don't, they'll expose your weaknesses. These great players. Could roll into the 12 if he wanted, softly. Efrén looks to be aggressive here. I'm a bit surprised at what he tried to do there. I think he wanted to hit it thinner and just send it over towards the 15 and 1. I don't think he wanted to kick behind that towards his hole. He didn't have the speed on the cue ball. Gerson gonna try and knock this down and tie the ball game up. He's got it on layaway, which is almost good enough. Due to 9, I think it is good enough. Efrén playing for 4, Gerson playing for 5. Like he's looking to two-rail this to his side. I don't know that he's doing that. Wow, very tough hit. He doesn't want the one to drop, I don't think. It's not terrible. He actually hit that ball quite good from where he was. It's an incredibly difficult hit. Can Efrén do something with the 10? Does it play? If it does, he could ticky the cue ball behind the 7. Looking at the 15 or the 11. If he could bank either one of those, he could bring the cue ball back to this side. So it might have helped Gerson that he pocketed that ball in the corner and it spotted up. Just put a little more pressure on Efrén. Boy, I don't know where this cue ball's going. If you're leveled out, you've got to hit this hard. One, two, three, four. Yeah, pretty good control from there. Gerson does have a cross on the 15. Efrén hit it a hair thin, but that's because he needed to get the cue ball back. So the shot wasn't natural by any means. Crossing the 15 here. And he's hit it pretty good. Real nice speed. This is going to pose problems for Reyes due to the position of the 9. Does Efrén take a cut at the 13 and go into the 9? Risky. I don't know that he feels that good. Yeah, the 9 posing problems here. What do you have up your sleeve, Reyes? Can he cross the 15? I think that's what he's going to try and do. Oh, what a hit. Needs that cue ball to run. I think Gerson can cut this 9 with a bit of outside English if he'd like. I don't think. I know he could if he wants. He's going to bank the 15, but the kiss looks real close, even with outside English. I think here you've got to consider cutting at the 9 with some right-hand spin. Coming out above the 13. If you can pocket the 9, get a shot on the 13, then bank 15. I'm a little bit surprised here. Yeah. Due to how steep the cue ball is, I don't know that you can beat the kiss. Yeah, he did get the kiss, but he got a good kiss, a really good kiss. And now Efrén back in trouble. Boy, Gerson really gambling there. Efrén might be forced to roll up on the 14. Or he could. Efrén could cross the 13 into the back of the 9 or even cross it below the 9, drawing the cue ball 1-2 tight up into the 14. That's an option. And this is also an option. I think this is great. Very, very simple. See if you can get something better next opportunity. Gerson could chop the 10 and just put Efrén back over there on that rail, just below the side, or just to the right of the top side pocket. Somewhere in the middle would probably be ideal. And just about right there. Efrén's going to have a constant escape, though. He will be able to come back to these balls. At worst, he needs that ball. Well, he was off the mark there completely. I think Efrén can see the 9 full. He doesn't like the 9. He doesn't like just bunting the 9 up 2 rails and laying the cue ball down, or hitting it 2 rails out with speed and dropping down. It's a little straight. He's worried about leaving some type of a return straight back, maybe on the 9. And as I touched on a minute ago, he can use an escape here. He could even go into, I like going into the top ball. I think the top ball is the right move. You might get in trouble going at the middle ball. Yeah, I think you're going to get in trouble here. Gerson can just tap in between those balls now and leave Efrén flat on the 12. Like so. This is why I think you needed to go at the top ball there. I'm a little surprised at that. Now Efrén is in a pickle. But maybe not for long. Well, watch out, cue ball. Gerson can do the same thing again. He could just nudge him in here. Pretty impressed with his moving abilities. I was not prepared for that, I'm being honest. Yeah, they might play this game for a minute. And this all stemmed from Efrén. Well, you better be careful here. You better make sure you've got him up on that 12. This all stemmed from Efrén going to the second ball instead of going to the top ball, which was the 12, about 3 innings ago. Gerson gonna nip again. You just got to be careful at nipping. Efrén a master. There's a game called bulk line billiards that Efrén's a master at as well, and it's just where you're. Can he see the 13? Oh, he must be able to see the 13. That's why I kept saying you've got to be careful. Oh, he was going at the bank and just playing the cue ball. Look at the cue ball. What a hit by Reyes. I don't know if everybody knows how good a shot that was, but you've got to respect that cue ball. He knows he's going to get the object ball down to that rail. Gerson feels like he's got to automatically come down here. I do not believe that's the shot. I think you can come off the 7 and put him in the top right corner, and Efrén's going to be back in another position. He's overlooking a shot here at minimum. Because you can definitely put him in that top right corner, just clip off the 7. And you put Efrén back in a little bit of a pickle. Because these balls actually still favor Gerson, in my opinion, if you utilize the cue ball in the right position. He's not looking at coming off of those balls at all, so that tells me he's in a panic mode, slight panic mode mentally. He didn't think Efrén could do what he did to him. Now he's looking at this option. There you go. You just got to get it there. That's weak. Very important to get that cue ball all the way over. Very important to get that cue ball all the way over. Because now Efrén can come off the 13 and utilize the 9 and stripe that's nearest the 9 for coverage if need be. He could also just roll back onto the 7 and we'd have this same type of little game that they had a minute ago. Efrén got the best of that battle, but the battle is far from over. And who will win the war? That's the question. Efrén. I think he'll come to the 7 ball here, leaving Gerson elevated. Gotta kind of wonder what the 9 looks like off that stripe to Gerson's pocket as well. I like this if he can lay the cue ball down. Did he lose the cue ball? That's why it was so important to go to that top right corner if you're Martínez. To me, it looks like he's lost the cue ball, and he obviously has if Gerson's going up there. Huge opportunity for Martínez. And this ball does bank. Oh, and he's made it. He has made it. More drama here in this third game. And Martínez has options now. Playing for 5. He's staring down the barrel of 3 of them. Efrén kind of pushed it there a little bit coming off that spot ball when he could have rolled to the 7. I wouldn't call it an error. A little unfortunate that he leaked the cue ball to the bottom rail. And I look for Martínez to get these 2. Does he drop below the 7? Can he get an angle on the 13? Don't want to underhit this. He's hit it well. He's got an angle, but I don't know if it's enough. Anywhere below the 7 is good, just to gain some type of a cut at it. Playing for 2. Did not get there. Efrén not completely out of it yet, but these balls definitely don't favor him. Just gonna chop at the 14 and come over. He decided to come all the way down. Nice cue ball. Very good cue ball. And he's used to using that outside English, letting it kill on the second rail for speed to the bottom rail. Tells me he plays this game quite a bit. I figured that out about 4 innings into game number 1. Efrén going to come to the 7 here. A little surprising. He's left a couple banks there. I figured he would chop the 14 and just play a containing shot. Efrén looking to push the envelope a little bit. Could be fatigue. Doesn't want to play a long end game. Gerson's also got a 2-rail on the 14 that he's passed up. I think that Efrén's got a bank on the 3. He could bank the 14, but you're going to really need to lay that cue ball down to keep Gerson off the 3. I think it takes a more accurate hit, much more accurate hit. Now he decides to come off of that ball. Thought he would do that a full inning ago. Obviously, the 3 must block the 14, or he wouldn't have played that. Gerson gonna just chop at this, play the cue ball up like so. Very containing, very passive, forcing his opponent to make the mistake. Oh, he caught, I believe he caught the 7 going in there. It's neither here nor there. He's done well, real well. He's got Gerson cut off of everything. The 7 doesn't go by the 3. If it goes by the 3, then this hit is touchy. Yeah, that's touchy there. He's going to give Efrén a cut at the 10 at worst. Efrén didn't even see the 10. He must have heard me. Just kidding, it's very loud in here. See how well he stays down. Oh, he swished it. Center cup. Is the kiss on, or can he bank the 3? That's what he's looking at. I think the kiss is on. I like how he played that heavy. Heavy cue ball, heavy object ball. Just rolling to the 3, doesn't want to make it. Efrén just went to school on this shot. He passed with flying colors. Can he do it again? Well, it sure does look like he can, and he has. Reyes playing for 2. Chop the 11 here, like so. You don't want to pocket anything here. Oh yeah, you don't want to pocket anything. You're asking for trouble. You're better off to just play the passive shot, not risking pocketing a ball there. Just do what Efrén did and play him to the top side of the table. Instead, Efrén might have a look at this 2-railer. Did he get it to the hole? I think he did get it to the hole. He's made it. He needs 1. Gerson needs 1. This match cannot be any tighter. Does Efrén take on the 2-railer here? He has taken on the 2-railer. It's going to be long. Gerson might get across corner. I believe Gerson can shoot this cross corner. It's really easy to lengthen out that 2-railer. You've got to hit it fatter than you think. Boy, this is tight, though. Easy to double kiss this. Easy to scratch. Easy to hit it too thin. Easy to hit it too hard. It's a little tricky, I believe. I might be looking at it wrong. Gerson to take a 1-game lead in this race to 3. He's hit it good. He hit it great. And that is a heartbreaker for Efrén Reyes. Subscribe, like the page. Thank you so much. Well, if you're Gerson Martínez, you've got to feel like you got away with one there. He did make a nice cross corner. He's played a pretty solid match, in my opinion. Both guys have. And he doesn't want to go home. He does have a loss. Efrén with no losses. This is to get into round 10, and when you get into the round 10, you're starting to get pretty deep in this tournament. Another nice hit. He's catching that first ball fuller, the second ball thinner. The spread isn't ideal, but it's pretty containing. And that's really all you can ask for at this stage in the game. It's better than selling out. Efrén would like to get him in that top right corner again if it's available. I don't know what the 11-6-9 looks like in Gerson's pocket, so that might be stopping him. How does he get him in the top right corner? Well, he doesn't if the 11-6-9 is on, but he can do it with the 8-1. Oh, there's some three cushion experience. Ticky, ticky, ticky. Or ticky, ticky off those two balls, noting that the cue ball is going to go down. He might have wanted it to drop a bit more. I don't know that he wanted Gerson to see this whole two ball. Gerson can shoot the two and go forward, playing the cue ball below the 8 if he wants, or he could probably bank it into the back of the 8. If you want to contain the cue ball, I think you can drop below it. Just send the 2 to your side. He might not be able to see enough of the 2 to drop below and behind the 8, sending the 2 towards the 14. Not all the way. He might be a little straight to bank it into the back of the 8. Meaning, I don't know if he can do anything with the cue ball. Yeah, that's a little surprising. He didn't do much to anybody there. That's not what he wanted. I don't believe that's what he wanted. Efrén can sweep something up table at this point, right? I think he was just trying to remove those balls and got the 14 to come over, and I don't know if it helps him. Well, note the 12 in the top right corner. That cuts off the 2 railer on the 14. Yeah, he had a lot of room to work with there. I'm sure he wanted to get a little more out of that. Get that cue ball up under the 8. Efrén can he see enough of the 2 to play it into the bottom of the 4 and stun the cue ball up 1 rail in front of the 1, sweeping everything to your side? It's pretty risky. He's trailing 2-1. Another ticky played off of both of those balls to get the cue ball down. Didn't get him on the rail again, though. Gerson can just come forward here if he'd like with the 7. If he wants, he can try and play that cue ball back under the 8. Yeah. I don't hate it. He didn't want to tie the 7 and 10 up. But he's got the 9 over there. Pretty containing. Notice Efrén taking a little more time. I don't think he took Gerson for granted. But you get the feeling of the importance of this match now. And that's pretty good. Opens a lot up on Efrén's side. Better be careful. Is he looking to sweep the 8-2 and stick him to the 1? Yeah, pretty good. Not bad. Once again, these balls making their way up table. Does Efrén have an alley for the 2 railer on the blue 2? Or is the 14 in the way? Yeah, got the 14. Oh, look at this rub. Look at this. Okay. Showing his carom experience. Jokingly. Gerson shaking his head. Well, you better just shake it off, because you've done so well so far. Keep that head together, young man. I don't know if he was playing that, but if he was, great shot. Just covered the 15 up. Efrén might be forced to go through the blue 2 here and just lay Gerson down behind the 15. Is he looking to 2-rail the 3? Boy, you've got to find coverage on the 2 if you do that. The only ball I see with that is the 15. This is a big ask here. Asking for a lot. Oh, he's hit it amazing. Oh my gosh, he's made it off the point. What a hit this was. Got a little smirk. What a 2-railer. He held that ball up. All cue ball as well. Reyes coming with it in game number 4. Huge shot. Remember, he won the lag. If he can win this game, he's breaking on the hill. Yeah, I like it. Now he can drop over to the short side of the 15 if he'd like. Want to stay above it, though. He has. And he's okay here. 1 rail up for the 2. A little steeper than he wanted. Let's take a look at everything. I think it lays natural to go to the 8. Doesn't want to get straight on it either. Oh, notice the kill he's put on that ball. That's the Efrén of old. Or maybe the Efrén of new. He's actually killed the ball too much. So he's probably going to have to go above the 4. This is kind of a funny stroke. One rail out. Oh, he's just taking the 4. I can't blame him. Playing for 2. Wants to hang this up at worst. Put him on the hill. I think it's dropped. Is that cheating? I mean, he used a lot of bot English there. I'm going to give it to him. Reyes playing for 1. He can bunt the 10 here. He can come off the bottom of the 10 with some speed, knocking the 7 up. I don't know what kind of aggressive play he's got other than yeah, I think you want to contain Gerson at this point with this lead. It's fine. He's tied the 9 up to where it doesn't pass as well. Gerson not in love with anything here. Come off the 10. Tell you what, one thing I've noticed about this young man is his cue ball to that bottom rail is really, really, really nice. I don't believe the 9, 7, 10 is on. I think the 10 is going to the rail. Speaking of rail, he needs to get one. He did. Can you one rail the 13 and hold the cue ball up, utilizing those 3 balls on the top end as protection, meaning bring the cue ball back to where it is now. Gotta play a thin hit on this 13. He's hit it pretty good. Efrén can come off the 6 if he'd like. 2 rails down. He's going to kick with speed here. I think he was trying to come behind that ball, but it turned out beautifully. He knew he was going to hit the ball going in or coming out, meaning behind it. As long as you hit it with speed to get a rail, not a lot can go wrong. He's left a bank. And he's got it down. I believe he's got it down again. I'm a little surprised that Efrén caught the front end of that ball kicking at it. He had a lot of space to come behind it. Now he's in a little bit of trouble. Not much. Gerson will be able to kick at this 13 if Efrén comes off the 6 and lays him on the side rail just to the left of the 10. And this is what I thought he could do before, but just lengthen it out 2 rails. And Gerson will kick at the 13 if he wants. It's only going to gain him 1. So maybe he wants to leave it. And I don't blame him. If he wants to leave it and he can cover this cue ball up somehow, he might get more out of it. Otherwise, you get 1 and put yourself in a funny spot kicking the 13 in. So that's his only concern there, and that might be why he's not entertaining it. Yeah, definitely can't fault him there. Boy, he moves good. He moves good. Can Efrén cut the 10? He's just going to ticky. Nicely done. Gerson looking to chop this ball and put him back up there. The position of where it's at now is better than if you bring the 13 up, so you might want to look at other options. He's quick to do this, though. He's just got to hit it real thin. You don't want to bring the 13 up too high. Otherwise, Efrén will have an easy escape. He's going to use a lot of left spin here. It requires a thin hit, like I've said. He's hit it pretty good. Really tough to keep that 13 close to the pocket when you're trying to get that much out of the cue ball. Now Efrén has to come down somehow. Can he go through on the 9? Follow forward with the cue ball. It looks pretty thin. Can Efrén carom the 7 off the 10 and stick him on the 9? Note the 4 balls that are pretty much out of play in the lower right corner. Efrén kind of got himself in a spot here, as I said a little bit ago. Got a tough bridge there as well. Okay, he tried to go forward. He's opened the 10 and 7 up. So here comes Martínez, grinding his way back into game number 4. He's got a long way to go, though. Reyes playing for 1. I believe this lays real nice to come back and forth for the 7-10. Yes, sir. He's hit it really well. He'd like to have had that stop dead straight on the 7, I believe. Yeah, there's a big difference in that being straight in and where he's at, unless he's going to try and use the point here. Be careful. Huh, pretty cute. Pretty cute. He's going to look to get a bank on the 6. Impressed with his game. No matter the outcome of this match, I'm impressed with his game. Has he gone too far with the cue ball? He has. He caught the 10 a little thin there. I don't know that it's time to shoot this. Remember the game that you stole from Reyes last game. Well, you need that to carry. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. You've got to make sure the 6 gets back in the pile of balls. Is Reyes concerned about the cue ball, or can he hold it? Well, he's left a shot on the 5 here. So he didn't like the angle. He had to manufacture an angle. Gerson's got another opportunity. And it tells me that he must be straight or have the pro angle to bank the 6 next, which is easier to pocket this ball. But I feel like he's coming short side of the 6. Oh, he was coming short side of the 6. Oh, and the 5 held up. Wow. Efrén immediately going to the 6. What's he going to do? Looking to 2-rail that ball? Yeah, you better think twice here. Or does he think he can cut it? I've seen him spin balls like this in before. But boy, oh boy, you lose the cue ball there or whiff it. You give this game away and the match, and I'm sure he's thinking about that. I wouldn't be too concerned about leaving Gerson the bank with the cue ball deep in this pocket. And he tried to actually corner hook him. Note Efrén's hand gesture there. I'm not too concerned about this. I mean, if he makes it, he makes it. But you can't give the game away trying to cut the 6 or 2-rail the 6 if you're Reyes. You've got 3 out of play. You need 1 to tie this match up, and you're breaking on the hill. No chances necessary. He didn't even shoot it. I'm really surprised at that, but it tells me that it was a lot thinner than it looked on our screen because the cue ball would have come around. So he was concerned if he misses it, he leaves a return bank. But I believe he's left a 2-railer here. What does the 12, 14-9 look like? Look at this. Shoot straight into the 12. The 9 goes in. The 14 goes 1 rail up. The 12 goes 2 rails around. And Gerson's made an error double kissing the 6. If Reyes can knock this down, we are knotted up at 2 apiece. And we are knotted up at 2 apiece. Note how well he stayed down. It's a very good sign for Reyes. Watching Gerson and Efrén. And I'm just thankful to be here. So let's see where he places the cue ball now. I think he's better off keeping it out there. He wants to hit the 1 a little thicker this time. As he's got a lot more motion off the 1 this time. He's caught it a lot thicker. It's going to prove to be a lot better for Reyes. Immediately, though, I look, and one pocket players see this shot. Look at the 3. Does the 4 carry him straight into the hole? It carries position. I know it's hill. Can you afford to shoot that? Most likely not. But boy, if it's close or on, sometimes you've got to play your percentages. What options does he have? I mean, he's in trouble now, so think about this, right? He could take a 1-rail kick behind the 11. Dangerous. That's what he's going to do. Boy, he's hit it hard. He needs it to jar up. He's gotten it to jar up. He way overhit that ball. He knows he did. He looked at his camp and said, I got away with one. Which he did, but he's allowed, right? He's put himself in this position. He's allowed to get away with one. Yeah, and that's about as good as it gets for Martínez for now. Does Reyes take a foul? pretty clever. I think he was trying to get him up into the 15 and that little pile of balls there, but just about as effective where it landed. Gerson does have a 3-rail escape, I believe, now, where the scratch is not in play. You're going to play it 3-rail to the short side, back of the 11. Don't let the 13 and 7 fool you. The angle is there. The 1-rail play is dangerous. You can scratch off the 11. You can scratch clean. You're on 1 foul. You can be more aggressive. You can be a lot more aggressive with the 3-rail kick. Is he looking to remove or make the 11 somehow for Efrén with the 4? What do you do with the cue ball? Just going to put him behind the 9 and 3. That's dangerous. You just never want to have to do that. Yeah. Efrén should just take a foul right here, I think, into the back of the 3 and 9. Unless there's something better, and he's always going to find it if there is. Notice where he put the chalk right up there. I don't think that had anything to do with his plan, but sometimes players will set the chalk down sneakily in a position that they want the cue ball. I don't think he wants the cue ball up there. But does he want to come off of that point where he had it? Somehow get the cue ball back into the stack. You can take a foul right here. It says both players owe 1. So here at the Derby, they should negate each other. It's to speed the matches up due to the tighter pockets. These two guys aren't playing that way. And some of the guys aren't playing that way. They just probably don't know the rule or aren't thinking about it because they're so used to playing the normal way. Both players owe 2 or owe 1 apiece. I'm surprised he's coming off the 8 here. Well, he didn't come off the 8 there. I think he was trying to come off the 8 there. I get that he liked the cue ball up there where it is, but I think Gerson's got a couple options. He can bank the 6 now and stick Efrén on top of the 13 and use the stack, pushing something to his side. Yeah, definitely. Just bank and stop on the 6. 15, 9, 3, 14. They're going to block anything that gets in front of your pocket. Wow. Okay. He's chose to take a foul. Does he know something we don't know? And this is kind of why the Derby City has this rule, so we don't get to a position where each player owes so many balls. But I'm all about it because I'm getting to call the match. Efrén looking to come off the 15 and put him back over on this long rail. I'd say he's done pretty good. If Gerson can't see the 4, he is in big trouble. Yeah, he is in big trouble. He's looking to come off the 9. I would look at the long rail kick here behind the 11. It could ticky. You could get safe very easily with the long rail kick versus this carom. Well, unless you're Gerson Martínez, you put one in front of your pocket and bury Reyes. What a play. What an absolute monster play from that position. I mean, world class. Something tells me Gerson plays 3 cushion. He's obviously Spanish, and that's a game that they play. And if my suspicions are right, I wouldn't be surprised. He has just completely turned this game around on Reyes. That's definitely the shot of the match for me. I don't care what happens from here. That's the shot of the match. So difficult. Reyes looking to take a foul. 2 rails out. This ball needs to run. Boy, the speed looks really good from where he was. Well, okay. Here's a replay. Look at this. He's got to catch that 9 so clean to miss the 14 and come in behind the 11. But let's go to Efrén's shot now. The shot that Efrén just shot is the second shot of the match, or just about as good as the shot that Gerson shot, because the speed and accuracy it takes to cut Gerson off of everything from where Efrén was. Let's remember, Efrén was behind the 11, and he just put Gerson behind the only ball on Gerson's side. Pretty amazing. So what's happening here? I think they might be talking about the ball counts with owing the balls. And that's probably from a railbird. No pun intended with Railbirds TV, but somebody on the rail or the sideline probably mentioned, hey, you guys just owed 2 apiece. They should negate each other. And now Reyes took a foul, so he should owe 1. And that's what's happened. So now Reyes owes 1, and Gerson is even. So this just got a little more interesting. Can Gerson kick this ball as good as Reyes kicked this ball? The last time he long rail kicked, his speed was a little firm. Notice that Reyes took the 2 rail path, Gerson taking the 1 rail path. I feel like the 1 rail path is dangerous because you're coming in at a straight angle versus a wide angle. It's pretty firm again, but he's come in at a real nice angle. What is going on here? These guys have just made 3 world-class shots. What a play that was there. And he played to go into the 11. Both players completely dialed in. Efrén, I don't know why he's not looking at the 2 rail kick unless he's on 2, and that could be the case. He executed the 2 rail kick so good last time. Well, pretty cute. He's cut Gerson off from any pro side of the 4. And this Hill match is awesome to watch and call. And this is nicely done as well. Efrén has to be a little bit more careful now coming off the bottom of this 11. You do not want to leave Gerson the 4-10 combination. He is not on 1 foul anymore, so he could take a risk with the 2 rail kick again. This time he would need to use some inside English to kill it off the 2nd rail. He wants to come below this 11. I just feel like it's very dangerous. unless he can get him up under the 4. And he's going to get him on the 4. Amazing touch by the 69-year-old veteran. Gerson just going to ticky back. Really good. Can Efrén see all of this 4 ball? Just wondering if he could go forward. He's just going to nip the 4. Just like so. Can Gerson play the 4 off the bottom of the 2 and draw back behind the 11, or is that too much to ask? Just knock the 11 out, stick him behind the 4. Even better, move the 14 as well. This is getting worse for Reyes by the moment. Mind you, Reyes put down a pretty darn good break. So good that Gerson had to take a 1-rail foul. And now look at the balls. And that leads back to that carom off of the 9 that switched everything. Yeah, mind you, Reyes can do that all day long. There's only one problem. It's the 10 ball. The more they do that, the easier. Well, Gerson doesn't seem to be near as comfortable with that shot as Reyes. Look at Gerson having a little fun, smiling. And Reyes is hovering over him. Doesn't help the nerves. Jeez, I'm getting nervous. There we go. Strike 3, good hit. Reyes is going to really bury him here, I believe. I think he can stick him on the 4 and the rail. A little surprised he doesn't nudge him to the rail, glue him to the rail and the 4, trying to freeze both balls. Is he going to try and kick behind the 15 2 rails and back behind the 3? Must have a gap behind the 15 to come 2 rails behind the 3. Otherwise, I don't see anything that direction that's good. Yeah, I think he's got to glue him here. That's what he's done. He's quick to point out the cue ball's frozen, but Gerson can come off the 4. It's not a dead rail. Gerson said it's not frozen. Efrén quick to call it frozen. But I don't blame him. And Gerson looking to wedge him, to freeze both balls. Now watch Gerson point at it. So I'm sure it's frozen. And this poses some issues for Reyes. What kind of touch does Reyes have? He can go forward and keep him below the 10. But you've got to have a real good touch. Can he come off of the 4 and put him up like behind the 7? That's typically a cardinal rule that you don't want to do. But at this point, I don't know. I think he's got to try and put him below the 10. Ooh. Can Gerson make the 10? Okay, he cannot. So you would expect him, well, he's looking at it. I would not take a chance in losing your position doing anything with the 10 and 8. You expect him to just tuck him behind this 4 again, but he didn't. He's left Reyes some room now, at least to breathe. I think that Reyes might be able to sweep the 10, 8, and 3. What if you shoot the 10 into the bottom of the 8 with speed? The 10's going to 2-rail out. Can it sweep the 3 out? I know you're going to be worried about the 4, so why not just stop the cue ball? Is he looking to the 2-rail kick? He's had enough of that, he said. I'm tired of being back here and behind these balls. I'm going to just let Gerson shoot. The problem is, Gerson's not on the rail. He's a straight shooter. And I believe he's got the angle to draw down below, right there, below the 8. So the most important part here is knocking this down. They have been ticking and tapping the balls. Does Gerson even play the 3? Or does he roll the stripe towards the 3 and play the cue ball behind the balls again? I think you've got to go. It's your time to shine, kid. Yeah, I think he's got to shoot this 3. You can tell the 3 is towards the center of the table a little bit. He's got an angle. You've been working for this shot. You've got the shot. Knock it down. Talking himself out of it. Just looking where the cue ball needs to be. Buckle your seatbelts. He's hit it pretty good. The cue ball's away from him a little. Does the 7 play past the 2? If it does, he's hit that perfect. Oh, and I believe it does. He's looking to drop down to the 10. Devastating for Reyes if he can execute this. Do you take the chance of trying to get on the 10 and get snookered by the 4? Or do you just punch down and up, ensuring a shot on the 2? Can you go forward? You might even be able to go forward into the stripe above the 4. And just run into that and take your medicine with the 8-2. Get there. I feel like that's a little risky. And he knows it is, but he also knows the value. If he does get there, oh, he's missed the ball. This is the, oh, and not only that, look at the 10. It's wired. Does the 4 bank past the 8? This is the problem of playing that tight position that Gerson tried to play. He took his eye off the object ball. I think he'll look back at that and say, man, maybe I should have punched down or rolled forward into the stripe and taken the 2 or 3 balls that were staring me down the pipe. Can Reyes get position here. He can back cut, twist this bank into the 7. Does he get position? Oh, he's missed the plot, as they say in Europe. So he's missed the 7 ball. He's going to be disappointed with that. Didn't twist it enough. And that was because he went forward with the cue ball. Gerson, a little frustrated. He missed the 7. Can't blame him, but you've got to let it go. Things happen. Funny things happen, especially in this game. Big pressure. You're at the hill with Efrén Reyes. Let it go. Nice done. Nicely done. Good cue ball. But the 6, 13, 5, 12, they all go in Efren's pocket. Can Efrén elevate one time to rail this ball? Playing the cue ball behind the 9. Yeah. He's gotten a good rub if it stops. Gerson can see the 12. What about doing what you just did? Bank the 12 into those balls with a high cue ball. Try and bury him behind the 10. Keep that 9 protected. You could get a little aggressive and bank the 12 towards the 2, but the problem is nothing's going to your pocket really there. You could bank the 12 into the 2 or 4, stun the cue ball up into the 1, but are you asking too much? You can really bury him behind the 10 here. Yeah, that ball didn't go. Nothing went there, and he sold out a shot. The 12 did not have to thread the needle, but it did. Is that a result of the wrong shot? I don't know, but Reyes has got a lot of balls he can make here. You could say that Reyes is fortunate to be in this position, playing for 8. Seven.
Table 17, Rob Hart and Andrew Blood. Andrew Blood, Rob Hart, table 17. Table 39, Andrew.
He's gotten a little straight. Can play to the 5 next. Playing for 6. Does he drop down to the 10-7 or the 7-10? He does. Needs the cue ball to get up. He's laid perfect on this. Worst thing that can happen here is he falls straight on the 7. He's come with an angle. Now he can go up, and he's playing for 4. They are available. Does he draw between the 6 and 11? Carrying an angle on the 6. He's come all the way up to the 15, even better. This is the shot. Playing for 3. Little body movement, but he stayed through the cue well. He's playing for 2, and Gerson, at this moment, might be a little sick. He's played a great match. He took his eye off of the 7 ball after working so hard to gain a shot. It's part of it. He'll learn from it if he happens to lose this match. Reyes playing for 2 and to advance into the 10th round without a loss. Oh boy, he used all of the pocket there. Does he know he needs 1? Or do I have the ball count wrong? He's laughing and giggling. It looks like he's going to position here. I believe that's it. My scorekeeper. I believe that's it. We'll see. But if not, he's playing for 1 and to win this match and advance in round 10. This is tough here. And he hit it great. So either way, Reyes advances looking great.